Second video, this one, Dr. Wood, author of the book Miracles Minutes, and the title of this video is Should versus Could, Fear versus Love. And the language of fear tends to be passive aggressive language tones. It tends to be the language of should or supposed to be. And this is and I have this expectation of the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way it's supposed to be. That's not right. It's supposed to be. You should. You're supposed to. Here's the problem with that language. It's passive and it's very aggressive. Why is it aggressive? Because what it eliminates from you, if someone's using this language tone on you, it eliminates your yes and eliminates your no. See, if you're supposed to, you have to say yes to please this person. It's a form of people pleasing. It's an agenda. They're not loving you. They're guilting you into capitulation. They're using your emotions against you to feed their narcissistic behaviors, to feed their fears. They don't have your best intentions in mind. Now, sometimes there are people who do that intentionally, and then there's a lot of people who do that unintentionally. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, here's the problem. In psychology, they know for sure that when you use the word should, you should. I should do this. You should all over yourself. And what happens is it causes you to feel guilty. So the warrior inside of you, the lover inside of you, you're beating yourself you're judging yourself. And you're guilty. You should. I should have. I didn't. I guess that means I'm a bad person. So inside of you, you shrink. And you don't feel good about yourself. You feel bad. That's if you use it on yourself. When other people use it on you, you should. You're supposed to. You're supposed to take care of me. You should. Here's the problem with it. You can't say no. You're not allowed to say no. You're not allowed to have an opinion. You have to agree. Have to agree with it. So all that stuff is have to. I strongly suggest Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. That's aggression. It's the language of war. That's the language of destruction. Have to, should, supposed to. I'm not supposed to do anything. What made you think that? That's all people pleasing. That's a narrative that's very destructive, extremely destructive. You want to see a relationship end? It will end with that language tone. It's passive aggressive language. It's passive aggressive behaviors. It even shows up in church. Well, it says right here in Malachi, blah, 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 if you don't, tithe, you rob God of your tithes and offerings. Now, what's the unspoken is that you're supposed to. You should. So the minister's using should, supposed to make sure you put your money in the tithe and offering. That's not what God said. God said if you're doing it out of obligation, and you want to give me flowers out of obligation, he said stick them up your ass. I don't need them. That's what he said. There's a lot of people. Maybe you do have need in the church. I don't know. Maybe you have needs. We all have needs, okay? But there's a difference between a demand and a request. A demand is always, you're supposed to, you should. You're demanding upon me. You're asking me to give up my life. You're asking me to give up my choice of saying no to you. And I have to. I'm going to post Brene Brown's on here, which she talks about that. Here's an eloquent woman, and she looked at some stuff about vulnerability, about trust, and some other issues. And she did a talk for TED Talk, and she also did some stuff for Oprah. And she started to realize that a lot of times women, okay, are doing shit that you don't want to do because you're afraid of that your friends and your peers will judge you that if you don't make the cookies for the bake sale. Can't you just do it for us? You're allowed to say no. Well, if you say no, I guess you're not a good person. Says who? Says you? How did you all of a sudden get the judgment of me? So what I coached Terry a little bit around this today, which is that, look, Terry, people pleasing causes a couple things. It makes you a victim. So if you don't say no, then you kind of are a victim. But the truth is, you're not standing up for yourself. You're not using your no. If you say yes to someone else, sometimes you say no to yourself. So you're not giving to yourself. You're not loving yourself. And then people use the narrative of making you feel guilty if you say no. Well, that means you're not a good person. Okay, so now you have to back them off and say, look, you're way in my space. You're rude, obnoxiously rude. You're way in someone's personhood. Now you're judging them. If you judge them, you can't love them. You must be a bad person. Says who? How are you? That person just took a high ground and they just put you down like that. That's bullshit. You already know they don't love you. They have an agenda. People have agendas, don't love. They're coming at it from fear. They're coming to take. They're takers. They're thieves. Thieves. It's wickedness. It's what it is. Now, like I said, there's some people who are very aggressive who use that in business to get you to do things that you don't want to do, or else. Do it or else. That's evil. That's why there's cops. That's why we have attorneys to deal with people like that. There's people out there who are like that. But the majority of people don't realize that they're talking in that language tone. They're wondering why. If your relationship's not working, it's probably because it's in passive aggressive language tones. So that's demanding. And that's doing things out of obligation. Love's not an obligation. It's a free will choice. I can choose. So when I talk to people, I always give them back their dignity and respect of allowing them to choose. I'm allowing you the ability to say no. However, I'm also allowed to make another request. So what does it sound like on the other side? See, there's choice. If you don't have a yes or no, you don't have a choice. If someone's using should and supposed to, that's a demand, and that's stealing. That means they're going to, you need to do this or else there's punishment. They're getting ready to punish you. It could be, I won't talk to you anymore. You can't be my friend. You were never my friend to begin with, so I got that part. I'm okay with that. Goodbye. Yeah, you just walk away from them? Absolutely. Because they're not coming to love me because they didn't allow me to have a yes or no. I have to do what they say or else. They're going to, there's going to be revenge or they'll get angry. Oh, now I know where you are. You're on the fear, anger, pride side. Should, supposed to, okay? And then there's some people who suppress themselves because you're not using your yes or no. So you're allowed a yes or no. You're allowed to say no to people. And I'll put that up from the people-pleasing book. The 10 shoulds and the 10 deadly shoulds and the 7 shoulds and supposed tos and that what happens is you lose your life. That's why you feel like a victim because you're not using your no. You're allowed to say no. No. Mommy, can I have this? No. Okay, make another request. Convince me. Help me see your perspective. So now you're going to have to learn the art of negotiating and sales or value, how to show value, how to show opportunity. This is do it or else. You have no choice. Should, blah, blah. On the other side, it's you allow the person the yes or no. Hey, would you like to go here? Would you like to take this course with me? No. Okay, I can respect their no. I can also make another request. Maybe I didn't do a good job at elucidating, bringing to light the opportunity that's there for them. I can make another request. Like, have you ever considered this? This is what I see. This is it might be an opportunity for you, but you're coming from a place for their best interest. You're giving to them. You're serving them on that side of the love side. You're always in service. You're always bringing to light, not darkness, not should, not supposed to. It's, hey, have you considered? See, considered is thoughtful, right? That's loving. It's, have you considered? May I suggest? See, that's an offer. That's a suggestion. That it still allows the yes or no. If it's should and supposed to, you have no. That's guilting. It's aggression. It's very aggressive. And then there's going to be resentment on that. And that breaks up relationships. You could. You could. And when I coach people, they say, I can't. I say, hold on a minute. You could. You could, if you want to. Not that you have to, but you could. Because I want them to see that they have the ability to make a choice. See, if they say they can't, it's like you have no choice. Like there's the victim again. It just showed up in the language. I can't do that. Well, you could if you want to. You just won't do that right now. I'm okay with that. Would you agree that you could if you wanted to? You could try, right? I didn't say you're going to succeed the first time, but you could try, right? I want them to see the opportunity that they have the ability to try, that they could. And maybe there's something there for them. But if they go to I can't, you got a victim. If they go to I can't, you got into you're stuck in a box. You could, if you want to. You don't have to. I'm not coming from obligation. I always come from opportunity. I always come from may I suggest. I always come from hey, this might be this might be something you might be interested in. I think this might serve you. I'm here to serve you. I care about you. I love you. I want your highest good. May I suggest? You could if you wanted to. Have you considered? All that stuff is consideration. That's the language of the love side. That's the language that still allows a person to say yes or no. And I can continue to make a request. I can continue to present opportunities. And they can always continue to say no if they want to. Maybe it's not the right time. But that's the difference between should and could. And this is a big thing. This is the difference between assertive, loving communication and passive aggressive. And there are some people who are extreme aggression, including people who run the church. Love is not an obligation. You're not obligated to love anybody, but you can choose to. You can choose to. See, that's the conditional lovers. Everything's a condition. If, this, then, when, because. Conditions. And the thing is, they never get around to love. The people who choose. I choose to love you. What reason? I just want to. I choose to be happy. Why? Because I want to. I see the opportunity in it for myself. I just choose to. Should. I'll post it up here about the word should and psychology and how it creates guilt. And if you're using it on yourself, you're always going to feel small. The warrior in you will always shrink and move away from life. And you will then assume a victim mentality. Because it's like you don't have a no. I don't have a no. You have a no, but you're not using your no. And you feel guilty about using the no because you're a people pleaser. And you value other people's opinions more than your own opinion of yourself. You tell me what to do? What am I supposed to do? You're always looking up to somebody else. You're never looking eye to eye. You never see yourself as an equal. You either see yourself as less than somebody or more than somebody. And that way of thinking is passive aggressive. Passive aggressive. You're in the left brain. It's just a bad place to be. Dr. Wood, hope this video helps you.